Hello everyone, I welcome you all to this ESE online live session. In this session, we are going to discuss the key, in other words, the solutions for the ESE 2023 Prelims exam, the civil engineering paper. This ESE Prelims exam was held today, that is 19th February 2023. So I am going to discuss here first the weightage analysis and then the solutions of the geotechnical subject in this session. So before I go to the geotechnical subject, let me discuss briefly the weightage given in this civil engineering subject, civil engineering branch, let us say, right. As you see here, we have given here the weightage given for the each subject last year, that is 2022, as well as this year, the exam which was held today. You can see here, except one or two, there is no much deviation in this what you call as far as the weightage is concerned. So more or less you can say same weightage is given in almost all the subjects, except one or two there is a small deviation there. So if you have followed the what you call your preparation depending upon the weightage given in the previous years, definitely you may have edge here. So as you see here, some subjects are given very good weightage, like what you see, the building materials given good weightage compared to the last year. This is one subject where you can see more weightage for the building materials. And then solid mechanics, that is strength of metal subject, it is given very good weightage in this ESE prelims exam. You can see 18-20 questions there. This year 20 questions, very good weightage compared to the other subjects there. And then followed by, you can see the fluid mechanics, there is no much variation, 13 to 14 questions is also good what you call weightage given reasonably. And followed by, you can see the geotechnical engineering subject. This year 14 questions, last year 13 questions, it's also given good weightage. Then you can see what you call environmental engineering, around 10 to 11 questions. That is what you can see orally the weightage. There is no much variation this as far as weightage is concerned. And regarding this geology, okay, surveying, geology combinedly we have given there, right. But if you see orally, the standard of the questions this year. So from the what you call oral view, one can come to a conclusion that this year the questions are not so complicated. Most of the questions which you have seen, they are almost I can say straightforward. There is no much complexity in these questions. So relatively compared to the previous papers, compared to the previous years, this year we can say relatively it is somewhat easy, this year. And moreover, some of you might have performed very well in this prelims exam. I appreciate you, you deserve congratulations, well and good, keep it up and focus on the upcoming what you call the mains examination. But some of you might not have performed according to your expectations there. But don't lose hope there. Don't lose hope. It's all relative exams, relative competition what you have there. If you have done well, well and good. If you have not done well, nothing to bother. The preparation, the knowledge, whatever you have gained, certainly it is going to be useful for you tomorrow when you take up any other competitive examination in the civil engineering. So let me discuss quickly the solutions for the geotechnical engineering subject. So this is the geotechnical engineering subject. Here I said earlier 13 to 14 questions are given this year. Let me select the ink, right. Around 14 questions are given. Most of the questions which are given in the GT subject, they are straightforward, there is no much complexity at all. And moreover, they do not take much time also to solve these questions. Only one question was there, numerical type, but rest of the questions are straightforward. I can say confidently that the GT paper this year is somewhat easy compared to the previous years. Okay, this is the first question. According to Terjagi, a foundation is shallow. In most of the books, This is going to be the very first paragraph what you come across. In most of the coaching materials also, this is very common paragraph what is in the very beginning. So a foundation is called shallow foundation if the depth of the foundation is less than or equal to width of the foundation. It is a very simple question. Most of you might answer this question. You can see here, depth is equal to or less than its width. That is answer A. Depth is equal to or less than its width. Then 47th question. This is regarding the definition of ultimate bearing capacity of soils. You are given the different statement there. You are asked to pick up the correct definition of the ultimate bearing capacity. It is said net, no, grass. I think you read the statements and you can see there the statement number B, the minimum gross pressure, because it is not specified here net or grass. Net or grass not specified, but unless otherwise specified, normally ultimate bearing capacity means it is implied that gross ultimate bearing capacity only. It is a gross bearing capacity, it is not the net ultimate bearing capacity, it is the gross. The term gross is optional here. So it is the minimum gross pressure at the base of the foundation which can cause shear failure of soil. So that's why the answer option is the B. Option B is the correct answer. I think I will change the color, right? Then we will move to the next question. 48th question. What it says, which one of the following is not the common nomenclature of geosynthetics? You know, there are different geosynthetics. Geotextiles you have, geomembranes you have, geogrids you have, geonets you have. So geotextile is a geosynthetic, geogrid also is geosynthetic, geonet also geosynthetic. Geogrout, it is not the what you call common nomenclature that you come in the case of geosynthetics. So the question is here, which of the following is not the common nomenclature? So this is the not the nomenclature of the geotextile. So this is the answer. C, 48th, that is the C. Next we see 49th question. Which one of the following is an advantage when geotextile is used in the case of the road works? Be careful in the case of the road works what is being asked there. You are asked to find which one of the following is the advantage. Look at your options. Prior stripping of the natural soil is not correct. In fact, if you use geotextiles, the stripping of the ground surface is not required. And economy of aggregate, yes, overall if you use the geotextiles, you are going to ensure, you are going to have what you call a lot of economy in the overall construction of the road works. So this is the correct option. You have economy. What are the rest of things? Increase of different settlings. Nothing but it is wrong statement. Differential settlements will not be there. It is going to control. That's a wrong statement. Slower consolidation of the is also wrong statement. In fact, if you geotextiles, it will accelerate the consolidation process. Therefore, the correct answer is the B, option B. 49th, it is B. Then you can see the next question, that is the 50th question. Consider the following statements regarding the ultimate bearing capacity of the footing based on the SPT, standard penetration test, and then the cone penetration test. This is the one question, it may demand some understanding of the subject. Compared to other question, this is somewhat what you call a tricky question, I can say, relatively. What it says, the empirical correlations what you have in ESE between the N and the properties of the soil indicate that value of N conforms to certain standard energy ratios. Yes, energy ratios, but the efficiency of the hammer what you are using for the SPT test there. So this is a correct statement there. It's a correct statement. So whenever you report N value, the N value always has to be reported to certain energy ratio. Nothing but energy efficiency, maybe 60%, 70% like that. The value of N to be used for getting the phi is corrected value for the standard energy. Yes, we have some correlation tables where if you know the N value, we can get approximately the phi value. The question is what N value are supposed to use there. The N value what is supposed to nothing but which is corrected for certain energies. Maybe 60%, 70% energy correction should be there. It is also a correct statement there. Next, the angle phi obtained by this method cannot be used for obtaining the bearing capacity factors. It may not be correct. Why? Because if you know SPT value, that is nothing but N value, we can know approximately the phi value. If you know phi value, you can know approximately the bearing capacity factors. Bearing capacity factors you can know there. That's why the statement says angle phi optimization method cannot be used. It is a wrong statement. So 1 and 2 correct statements. Therefore, option A is the best answer here. That is a 50th question. Let me compare. Yes, A is the correct answer there. Then 51st question. The unified classification system, what we use in the case of the soil classification, is a recognition of the type and predominance of the constituents considering. You must be knowing grain length we don't take there. Elasticity we don't take. But we take plasticity characteristics. We don't take the elasticity property. Non-compressibility is also not correct. We take compressibility there. What is the question there? Which is based on, yes, gradation. So depending upon the gradation, the soils are classified. Normally the gradation we use in the case of classification of what we call coarse grained soils. So among the given options, I think the gradation is the best option there. So 51, that is B. Then we move to next question, that is 52nd. Which one of the following cofferdam is suitable for small heights? Be careful here, suitable for small heights. Let us see options: cantilever sheet pile, braced cofferdam. You know, braced cofferdam, cantilever sheet pile, they are used for what you call larger heights there. Double wall, still if you have more depths there. Among them, embankment protected cofferdam, yes, this is the best option there, because the question is here for smaller heights. If you see literature for small depths, let us say 1.2 to 1.5 meters a depth of water if you have, so this what you call embankment protected cofferdam is generally the appropriate best one there. So 52nd, the answer is C. Then you see 53rd question. So you are given a footing there, pressure is given, properties also given there. You are asked to find what is that immediate settlement is asked, nothing but elastic settlement is asked there. You know very well the standard formula how to find this elastic, otherwise immediate settlement of a footing. So elastic settlement, otherwise immediate settlement is equal to, we have this formula, I write here, sorry. The elastic settlement is equal to footing pressure by Young's modulus into B into 1 minus mu squared into I. So all the parameters have the standard meaning. The only point where you have to pay attention is regarding this B. What is B? Some characteristic dimension there. Normally we take width, otherwise diameter. That is what we take the characteristic dimension. Here you can see there you have length and we have width. So this B shall be the width of the foundation what you are supposed to take there. So this B shall be 1.5 meters. Remaining all, the Q is given there, ESE is given, Poisson's ratio is given, the influence factor I also given there. So if you substitute the values, if you calculate, the value of the settlement will come to be nearly, I think, 3.5 millimeters. So this is the answer there. C is the answer. C is the answer, 3.5 millimeters. Next we move to the 54th question. What is that? Regarding the Boussinesq stress distribution theory, which one of the following distribution diagram can be prepared? Let us see the options there. Strain isobar, we don't prepare this one. Vertical pressure distribution on a horizontal plane, yes, this is what generally we prepare. We prepare distribution on a horizontal plane as well as a vertical plane also. But what is the other one? Vertical pressure distribution on an inclined plane is not correct. Oblique not correct. So this is the answer. Option B is the correct answer there. 54, that is B. And 55, which of the following is an assumption made by Coulomb's theory in the development of what you call active earth pressure? The fundamental difference between the Rankine and the Coulomb is very simple. Coulomb considers the wall friction, Rankine neglects it. You can see there is a wall friction on the pressure surface. Pressure is nothing but the wall surface here. So this is the assumption what made by the what you call the Coulomb's theory. It's a simple straightforward question. So 55 answer is B. B, 55 it is B. Next 56th question, which one of the following is a correct general consideration? Please understand, it is the general consideration. Be careful with regard to this particular wording there. For a mechanically stabilized earth wall. In other words, you can say reinforced earth walls there. General consideration, general what you call stability checking. Compressive force, no. Shearing in the wall, no. Yes. You can see bearing capacity failure. This is the general consideration what to consider in the case of what you call stability checking of the RE walls there. So 56th question, bearing capacity failure. 56 that is B. And 56 it is B, bearing capacity failure. And 57, what it says, which of the following is the part of assumptions made by the Terjagi while developing the mathematical statement of the consolidation process. We have the list of the assumptions made by what you call Terjagi's theory. There if you see, one of the main assumptions what is made in the Terjagi theory is the soil particles and the water are incompressible. A very simple straightforward question. Water and soil particles are incompressible. That's what the assumption made there. So 57th question answer is B. And then we move to the next question, that is 58. Which one of the following statement is not correct? Be careful there. It is not correct. What is being asked is not correct. Let us check it. The porosity of a rock depends upon the size and shape of the particles. Yes, it is true. It is true. More the size, we have more what you call easy percolation of water and all. Then specific gravity is useful for the calculated rock overburden pressure. Yes, it is also a correct statement. Depending upon the specific gravity, the unit weight varies. So accordingly, the pressure also varies there. Next one, the porosity of the spherical particles is high in case of, yes. We studied this point in the soil mechanics subject. Spherical particles have more porosity compared to the angular particles. This is also a correct statement. The porosity does not depend, yes. What is our question there? Which is not correct. Actually, porosity depends upon the mechanical process, means the different physical, otherwise mechanical processes in which a rock is going to be formed there. It may be because of the overburden pressure and all. So what you said there, it is said does not depend. In fact, the porosity depends upon the mechanical process. So this is the answer. The question is not correct. So this is the incorrect statement there. 58, that is the C. 58 it is C, yes. Next question, 59. Consider the following objective related to the subsurface investigation. Nothing but the soil exploration there, subsurface investigation. The purpose is to establish a geological profile. Yes, a correct statement. To establish hydrogeological conditions. Yes, is also correct statement because we are going to identify the depth of the water table and its position and all. And moreover, third statement, to monitor the future changes in the ground condition through the instrumentation. The borehole you can also use for the instrumentation purpose. This is also correct statement there. In fact, all the three are correct there. The question is which are the related statements. All are correct there. So answer is D. 1, 2, 3 are correct there. 59th it is D. 59th is D. Yes. Then we have a geology subject question. Geology subject question. The dip fault is a fault plane. Is a standard definition you may have come across in the geology subject about this dip. So the answer is going to be A, parallel to the dip of the beds. So these are the questions, totally 15 questions. 14 of them are in the GT subject and this is one on the geology subject. Right? I wish you all good luck. So my colleague faculty will come and take up the rest of the subjects one by one.
Good evening, friends. I welcome you all to the solution program of ESE. Let us take the subject of fluid mechanics. The first question over here is saying the difference in water surface level of two reservoirs which is connected by a siphon is 8 meter. So if two reservoirs are exposed to atmosphere and the siphon connecting them is there, difference is 8 meter. So therefore the value of head loss is equal to 8 meters straight away. Whatever is the difference, that is equal to head loss. The length of the siphon is equal to 600 meter, length is equal to 600 meter, diameter is equal to 0.3 meter, 0.3 meter. If the siphon is running full, then what is the discharge equal to? Discharge is equal to how much? Given the value of friction factor is equal to 0.02. Direct formula we can use, Darcy equation. Darcy equation says that the value of head loss is equal to 1 by 12.1 FLQ square by D power 5. If I want to find out the value of Q, I can write over here Q is equal to root over of 12.1 times head loss times D power 5 divided by FL. So Q is equal to, bear in mind that we don't have calculator, so we have to be very smart with our answers. 12.1 times head loss is equal to 8 meter. Now diameter is equal to how much? 300 mm, that is 0.3 meter. So let us say 3 power 5 divided by 10 power 5. F times L is equal to how much? F is equal to 0.02, L is equal to 600. You multiply both of them, that will become 12. Now 12.1 and 12 can cancel off, okay, approximately. I'm having 8 into 3 power 5 divided by 10 power 5 under root of. This number will guarantee be less than 1. We have only one option which is less than 1. So you don't have to calculate, and if you are calculating, you are wasting your time. Answer is option D. Let's move further. Next question. Which one of the following is the correct assumption in the derivation of Bernoulli equation? Derivation of Bernoulli equation is coming from Euler's equation. The first statement is flow is compressible. Wrong. Viscosity is 0. Yes. We assume the ideal flow condition is valid. So viscosity is 0. Flow is unsteady. Wrong. Flow is rather steady. Flow is rotational. Again wrong. Flow is rather irrotational. So answer for this is option B. Moving further. Next question. Water flows through a pipe of 200 mm diameter, 60 meter long with a velocity of 2.5 meter. What is the head loss due to friction using Darcy's formula? You are seeing a second question, the same paper belonging to Darcy's formula. The formula for head loss is equal to how much? FLV square by 2GD. But you have to be careful over here. You see, when F is given to you in the range of something less than 0.1, this is assumed to be basically Fanning's coefficient of friction. If it is Fanning's coefficient of friction, the actual value of F would become 4 times this particular value. That is 0.005 multiplied to 4, that will give you 0.02. So if I take this value as 0.02 multiplied to, length is equal to how much? Length is equal to 60 meter. Multiplied to velocity is equal to how much? 2.5 meter. So let us say 10 by 4 whole square divided by 2GD. 2 times G is again 10 I'm taking. Diameter over here is equal to 200 mm, that is 0.2. Okay? If you calculate this value, what are you going to get? You see, this is 100 times 2. So this will go, I'll have 10 over here. Right? So 10 times 6 is 60. I'm having 60 divided by 2 into 4 I'm having. 2 times 4 is equal to 8. 2 times 4 is equal to 8. One moment please. I'm having over here, sorry, 4 square. Now 4 square means 16. So this is, let us say 32 over here. This is 32 over here. 60 divided by 32. We are having 60 divided by 32. If you check this particular value, 60 divided by 32, it will come out to be equal to, let us say 1.875. Now if you are seeing, the options are very close by. I'm having an option which is 1.85, I'm having one option 1.91. Which one should be correct? Now you see I have made an assumption over here, G is 10. If I take G as 9.81, guarantee my answer should be greater than 1.875. The only option which is greater than 1.875 is option D over here, 1.91 meter. That would be the correct answer. See, you don't have to get the exact number. You have to be smart enough to get the correct number over here. Moving further to the next question. The question says the pressure distribution in a liquid subjected to a constant horizontal acceleration is. Now, this is a concept of rigid body motion. Let us say you're having a fluid and you're applying a constant horizontal acceleration. What would happen? In the case of constant horizontal acceleration, you will have a variation in isobar. The isobar will get inclined, but the rate at which the pressure will vary with respect to vertical axis will still remain the same. The rate of variation of pressure will still remain equal to gamma only. So you are going to have same as hydrostatic pressure distribution. This would be correct. Less than or more than hydrostatic pressure distribution, this is wrong. Equal to hydrostatic pressure distribution minus weight, no, weight concept does not come in over here. Okay? The answer over here is option A. Moving further to the next question. Now this question is from the concept of drag and lift. The question says a flat plate 1.5 meter cross 1.5 meter moves at a velocity of 45 km per hour in a stationary air of specific weight 11.3 Newton per meter cube. If the coefficient of lift is 0.75, then what is the lift force over here equal to? Now you see, he is troubling you with giving the value of gamma rather than giving the value of density. So you should get the value of density over here. Density would be equal to how much? Gamma divided by G, let us say. That would be equal to how much? 11.3 divided by G. Again, I'm going to make an assumption that G is equal to 10 because I'm seeing a decent enough spacing between the options. Okay, the options are spaced by 25% each. That's a decent spacing. So let us say if G is equal to 10, the value will become 1.13 for example. Now let us write the formula for force of lift. Force of lift is equal to coefficient of lift multiplied to area plan multiplied to half rho V square. Coefficient of lift is equal to 0.75, let us say 3 by 4. Area plan is equal to 1.5 cross 1.5. I look at 1.5 by 1.5 as 3 by 2 times 3 by 2, that is equal to 9 by 4 multiplied to half. Okay. Density is equal to 1.13 approximately. Velocity over here. Now you see he has given you the value in kilometer per hour. You have to convert into meter per second. So 45 into 5 divided by 18. 45 by 18 will give you 5 by 2. 5 times 5 by 2 is equal to 25 by 2. This will be equal to 25 square by 2 square. 25 square by 2 square. If you calculate this particular value, this is going to be equal to 27 times 1.13 times 625 divided by, let us say 32 times 4 will give me 128, let us say. 128. Now this value will be equal to how much? How do I calculate smartly? If you look over here, 128 is very, very close to 125. So if I take this as 125, this will become 5. If that becomes 5, let me make this lesser. Let us say 1.1 I'm taking now. 5 times 1.1, 5 times 27, let us say, will be equal to 135. 135 times 1.1 will be nearly 150. Nearly 150. The correct answer over here is option B, 150. Again, we are not solving using calculator. Orally, we are trying to solve. Moving further to the next question. The next question says a submarine which may be supposed to approximate a cylinder 3 meter in diameter and 15 meter lengthwise travels submerged at 1.54 meter per second in seawater at 4 degrees centigrade. What would be the drag force exerted on it? Take the value of CD as 0.7, density as 1025 kg per meter cube. Now the value of drag force, you are seeing one more question coming from drag and lift now. The value of drag force is equal to CD multiplied to area multiplied to half rho V square. The value of CD is given to you. CD is equal to how much? 0.7. Area is equal to how much? Now here there's a problem. Strictly speaking, for a fully submerged cylinder, imagine this is a cylinder you are having. This cylinder is traveling this way. A cylinder happens to be a bluff body. So in this case, if you look at the area is supposed to be this particular area, which is a projected area. But for this particular area, there is no option given. So then what is he expecting you to take? He is expecting you to take plan area over here. If you take plan area, that area would become diameter times length, that is equal to 3 times 15 multiplied to half multiplied to rho. Rho is equal to how much? Rho is equal to 1025 multiplied to velocity square. Velocity is equal to 1.54 square. Now this calculation is quite difficult, But if you do this calculation, you are going to get option D as answer. Okay, this might take some time for you to calculate. Okay. You will find these kind of questions in examination where the concept is easy but the calculation is lengthy. You should be smart enough to skip those questions and attempt them later on. Moving further to the next question. Now this is a very direct question. You see, if the pressure heads at the different locations in the pipe are plotted to scale as vertical ordinates above the axis of the pipe, and all these points are joined by a sloping straight line, which is known as, now imagine you are having some pipe, a pipe may be having uniform diameter or non-uniform diameter. Let us say you are having this as datum levels and you are having some pressure heads over here. You are having some pressure heads over here. Let us say you are joining the pressure heads above this particular line. What is this particular line called as? It is called as HGL, hydraulic gradient line. It is called as hydraulic gradient line. Option A is the correct answer. You are supposed to search for these kind of questions where you are going to answer very quickly. Then you should go for the numerical based questions. Now let us look at this question. This is a question coming from the concept of from the assertion reasoning from the concept of kinematics. Statement 1 over here says negative derivative of velocity potential function with respect to any direction gives the velocity in that particular direction. So basically if I am taking minus dou phi by dou x, it will give me u, he is saying. Correct? It is true. Likewise, if I take minus dou phi by dou y, it will give me v. Likewise, minus dou phi by dou z, it will give me w. Correct. Statement 2 over here is saying the partial derivative of stream function in any direction gives the velocity component in that direction. Wrong. You see, dou psi by dou x does not give you u, it rather gives you velocity in the perpendicular direction in a 2D plane. That is, it gives you v. Okay? So this statement is wrong. Now statement 2 is wrong. Statement 1 is true, but statement 2 is false. The answer is supposed to be option C over here. Answer is option C. Moving further to the next question. Now this is a question which can intersect with the concept of double E also, but still let us see the question. The question says in Hardy-Cross method, a trail distribution of discharges is made arbitrary. In Hardy, let us say you're having a pipe network, you're applying Hardy-Cross method. The distribution is arbitrary, that is correct. The continuity equation must satisfy at each junction, that is true. There is no accumulation taking place at any junction. Therefore, whatever is the influx coming at a particular junction should be equal to efflux. This is also true. As a matter of fact, this is the reason for this. The answer is option A over here. These are the questions from FM. One question has appeared from the concept of hydraulic machinery, only one question. The question says the air vessel is not required for multi-cylinder pump because. In the case of multi-cylinder pump, what happens is suction and delivery are not taking place at the same time. They are not in sync basically. So in such a case, smaller fluctuation of velocity will take place in both delivery and suction pipes. So answer for this question is option A. If you see the other options, they are exactly opposite to this particular statement. Those will be wrong answers. So these are the questions in the concept of fluid mechanics 1 and hydraulic machinery. Rest of the questions which belong to open channel flow will be taken by the other faculty. Thank you, all the best.
Hi everyone. Now we'll see the instruction of this subject questions. A parabolic 3-hinged arch AB carries a UDL 30 kg.
డౌన్లోడ్ చేసి పెట్టినా ఓకే ఇది ప్రివ్యూ క్లోజ్ చేసుకొని మీరు పీపీటీ లిస్ట్ ఓపెన్ చేసి ఆర్సీసీ అండ్ బిల్డింగ్ మెటీరియల్స్ అని చూపిస్తుంది ఆర్సీసీ ఓపెన్.
So 3-hinged parabolic arch. So UDL 30 kilonewton per meter on the left half of the span. So this is the 30 kilonewton per meter. Okay, and span given 16 meter. Okay, and central rise is given 3 meter. So this is the 3 meter. Okay, and asking what is the resultant thrust at support A. clearly mention left and A. Okay, this is nothing but this is support A. So here two reactions will develop, horizontal reaction and vertical reaction VA. Okay, but he asking resultant reaction. Here resultant reaction is, for example, RA. We have to find the reaction RA. How to find the reaction RA? Just after knowing vertical reaction VA and horizontal reaction, then we can find the resultant reaction RA, right? Okay, so first we'll find the vertical reaction, then this is B, then this is VB, then this is the horizontal reaction. Okay, so here VA plus VB equals to, this is 30 into 8. Then taking moment about support A or support B, that is your wish. For example, taking moment about A, so anti-clockwise is negative and clockwise is positive. Okay, so VB anti-clockwise, perpendicular distance is 16. Okay, then this is 30 into 8 into 8 by 2 equals to 0. Then from this equation you will get the VB. So after knowing VB, then we'll get the reaction VA. So after knowing VA and VB, we can find the horizontal reaction. How to find the horizontal reaction? By taking bending moment at C is equals to 0. So you can look left to the hinge or right to the hinge, your wish. Okay, so better look right to the hinge, that is VB is anti-clockwise. So minus VB, perpendicular distance is 8 and H is clockwise, plus H into this is 3 equals to 0. Then if you calculate, you will get the VB value is 60 kilonewton and VA value will get 180 kilonewton. Then from this you will get the horizontal reaction value is 160 kilonewton. Okay, then resultant reaction RA equals to under root of H square plus VA square. Okay, then you will get the value, that is 241 kilonewton. Okay, then option C is correct. Now we'll see next question. Right, a given fixed beam subjected to a central point load, fixed beam subjected to a central point load, the number of points of contraflexion, a given point load against gravity. It means you can mark it, this is upward, reaction is, you can, this load you can show upward, if you show upward or downward, but number of point of contraflexures are same only. Okay, just I am showing downward here, and position, if you draw the bending moment diagram, fixed beam subjected to point load, so you will get the shape like this, right? Now this is the shape of bending moment diagram. Okay, here bending moment is 0, this is called point of contraflexure and this is point of contraflexure. Okay, then this is, you will get at a distance of L by 3 from supports. Okay, then 2 number of point of contraflexures L by 3 from both the support, then option B is correct. Okay, next, if one support of a fixed end of beam settles down, right, okay, then what is the nature of end moments? Students, in the question it didn't mention which support is settles down, is it left support or right support? For example, if I consider left support is settles down by an amount delta, okay, and due to sinking of support there will be a sinking moment, okay, then here it is clockwise, here also clockwise. What is the sinking moment value here? 6EI delta by L square, 6EI delta by L square. For example, if the right support is settles down by an amount delta, okay, then here sinking moment is, both are anti-clockwise direction, same magnitude, 6EI delta by L square, 6EI delta by L square. Okay, so in the question it didn't mention is it left support is sinking or right support is sinking. Okay, then if the left support is sinking, both are clockwise. Okay, if the right support is sinking, both are anti-clockwise. Okay, so both will be either clockwise or anti-clockwise, then option B is correct. Okay, right. Next question, in a rigid joint plane frame structure, introduction of pins to all members at joint produce additional equilibrium equations. Okay, students, here for example, this is the rigid jointed frame, okay, rigid jointed plane frame. Okay, if I introduce one hinge here, hinge or pin, okay, this is hinge or pin. So here internal hinges provides additional equilibrium equations. Now question is how many equilibrium equations? Here students, force releases equals to nothing but additional number of equilibrium equations only. Okay, then here how many force releases for moment hinge? M minus 1, where M is number of members meeting at this hinge. Okay, given number of members at the joint minus 1. Okay, this is M minus 1, then option C is correct. Right. The next question, consider the following statements. The distribution factor for fixed support, for fixed and pin support is 0. Okay, students, distribution factor for fixed support is 0. Yes, correct. Okay, but distribution factor for pin or roller support, okay, for pin or roller support it is 1. But given pin support distribution factor, is it 0? No, it is not 0. Then 1 is wrong. Okay, then next, in the case of pin supports, the distribution factor is equals to 1. Yes, distribution factor is equals to 1, since 100% of any applied movement must be balanced and carry over of half of the movement will carry over, right? Okay, then only 2 is correct, that is option B is correct. Okay, right. The next question, there may be has many unknown forces as there are equations of equilibrium. However, instability or movement of structure or its member can develop because of improper constraining by the supports. Okay, students, for example, instability, nothing but unstable. If all the support reactions are parallel, what is it called? Unstable structure. If all the support reactions are parallel, unstable structure. Or if all the support reactions are concurrent, okay, if all the support reactions are concurrent, also unstable structure. So here one reaction, line of this reaction, here also for example one reaction, and here also one reaction, and line of action of these 3 reactions are meeting at some point. Okay, nothing but concurrent, so this is unstable structure. Okay, then statement 1 is correct only. Next, this can be occur if all the support reactions are concurrent. Yes, concurrent. Okay, and when reactive forces are all parallel. So these are the example. Yes, statement 2 also correct. Okay, so statement 1 and 2 both are individually true and explanation also correct, then option A is correct. Okay, so these are the questions was asked in structural analysis. Okay, so thank you, all the best.
Here, few questions given lengthy numerical based questions. A few questions are 1, 2 steps. Only you can answer. Within 1 or 2 steps you can answer. Let us see one after the other. First question. What is the percentage of reinforcement of an axially loaded short square column of 400 mm side to support a factor load of 1600 kilonewton? Use M20 concrete and Fe415 steel. They are asking percentage of tension steel. For that you need to find out first area of longitudinal steel in a column. My dear, from this formula you can get, wait a minute, I would like to change the color here. Yes. Fine. See my dear, first of all we need to find out area of longitudinal steel in a column. It is a square column
So we have to consider it is a tied column. 0.4 FCK AC plus 0.67 FI AS. This is the formula for load carrying capacity of a tied column, right? Here given load, concrete grade and grade of steel, everything is given except ASC. We can find out from this formula. PU given here 1600 kilonewton, let us write in Newton, which is equal to 0.4 FCK. Concrete grade given here M20, so FCK is 20. AC is the net area of concrete, that we can find out as gross area minus area of longitudinal steel. Here gross area given, that is 400 by 400. This is a square column, na? Minus ASC plus 0.67 FI is, for FE 415 grade steel, FI value is 415. ASC, right, we need to find out ASC only. My dear, if you simplify this, it will take time, but we can simplify it, not a problem, not required calculator for this. ASC we are getting for this as area of longitudinal steel. After simplification we may get 1184.96 mm square. My dear, they are asking percentage of steel. Percentage of steel we can get like this. Percentage of steel P equals to 100 ASC upon BD. 100 ASC, here we are getting area of steel is 1184.96 upon B 400, D also 400. After simplification you may get 0.74 percentage. Here option is C. C is correct. Option C is correct. Then move to next question. A simply supported RCC one-way slab for an office floor has the clear dimensions of 4 meter by 10 meter with a 230 mm walls all around. What is the effective length of the slab? Take effective depth of the slab as 160 mm. First of all, we can draw a simply supported slab. This is the sectional view. Clear span given in the question as 4 meters. This is 4 meter by 10 meter. We have to take for design purpose shorter span, that's why we are going to consider here 4 meters. And width of the support also given. Width of the support is 230 mm. 230 mm we can write in meters 0.23. This is the width of the support, it is the clear span, this is the width of the support. My dear, this is a steel reinforcement and this one be the effective depth of the slab. It is given that 160 mm, let us write in meters, 0.16 meters, this is the effective depth. We want effective length or effective span, effective length for a simply supported beam or simply supported slab. Effective length will be clear span plus width of the support or clear span plus effective depth, whichever is smaller. Here clear span is 4 meters, width of the support is 0.23 meter. Clear span is here 4 meters, effective depth is 0.16 meter. Let us simplify 4.23 meter, this is 4.16 meter. Take smaller of these two, take smaller one. My dear, adopt effective length as 4.16 meter. Option B is correct. From this, option B is correct. Okay? Then move to next question. What's the next question? The members in which the entire cross section of concrete has a uniform compressive pressure is called. My dear, this is the prestressed concrete member. and if you keep the tenon exactly at the CG of the member and introducing the pre-stressing force, due to this pre-stressing force you will get the stress throughout the section. It is uniform only, P by A, P by A, right? They are asking that in a section if stress is uniform, then which kind of pre-stressing is it? It is axial pre-stressing, axial pre-stressing, okay? Then move to next question. For M45 concrete as per IS 1343-2012 in pre-stressed concrete structures, which is the correct value for autogeneous shrinkage? My dear, it is a direct value from the table, right? If you refer IS 1343-2012 code, it is a direct value for M45 grade concrete. The autogeneous shrinkage is a 65 into 10 power minus 6. Option B is correct. Then move to next question. A pre-stressed concrete beam of section 120 mm by 300 mm is used over an effective span of 6,000 mm, nothing but 6 meter, to support a uniformly distributed load of 4 kilonewton per meter, including the self-weight of the beam. The beam is pre-stressed by a straight cable carrying a pre-stressing force of 180 kilonewton located at an eccentricity of 50 mm. What is the stress due to pre-stressing force? Due to pre-stressing force. See, in the member they have mentioned very clearly there is a tendon which is provided at an uniform eccentricity. At an uniform eccentricity. This is the pre-stressing force which is kept at an uniform eccentricity. See, this is the eccentricity. Due to pre-stressing force alone, what are the stresses developed? Stress at top fiber is P by A minus PE by Z. Stress at bottom fiber is P by A plus PE by Z. Okay. Here pre-stressing force given 180 kilonewton. Let us write here 180 into 10 power 3 Newton upon size of the beam is 120 into 300 minus pre-stressing force is 180 kilonewton, write in Newton, into eccentricity here given that 50 upon Z is BD square upon 6. If you calculate this value, you will get it is 5. If you calculate this value, this one also you will get 5. So 5 minus 5, answer is 0. Similarly, same values now, 5 plus 5, you will get 10 Newton per mm square. It is the stress developing due to pre-stressing force alone. Here there is no answer, right? Suppose in the question if eccentricity is not given, then there is an answer, right? So in this question, my dear, they have given eccentricity, but if you consider eccentricity, no answer is matching. For this question, no answer is matching. Right? Okay. Next question. Sorry. Yeah. A rectangular simply supported beam of span 4 meter is 300 mm by 700 mm in cross section and is reinforced with 3 bars of 20 mm on tension side at an effective cover of 50 mm. The beam experiences an imposed working load of 20 kilonewton per meter. Assume the density of concrete as 25 kilonewton per cubic meter, excluding self-weight. What is the maximum bending moment, my dear? See here, solution for this question. To find out the bending moment, we need the total load. Here given imposed load, right, and also density given. So we need to calculate here self-weight first, self-weight of beam. self weight of beam. WD equals to gamma into B into D, where gamma be the density, it is 25. Width of the beam is 300 mm, write in meters. Depth of the beam is 700 mm, write in meters. If you simplify, you may get the value, for this case you may get the value 5.25 kilonewton per meter. Then imposed load given in the question, nothing but live load, imposed load given WL, that is 20 kilonewton per meter, right here given. Then what is the total load? Total load equals to dead load or self weight plus imposed load, that is 20 plus 5.25, 25.25 kilonewton per meter. Question is, what is the maximum bending moment? For a simply supported beam, maximum bending moment M equals to WL square upon 8. W is 25.25 into span. Here given span is 4 meters. 4 square upon 8. If you simplify, you may get the value 50.5 kilonewton meter. Okay? Here 50.5. Option B is correct. To this question, option B is correct. Then move to next question. Yeah. A rectangular concrete cantilever beam is made of M25 grade concrete and Fe415 grade steel is used. What is the modular ratio of the section, assuming the modulus of elasticity of steel as 2 into 10 to the power of 5 megapascal? Suppose if it is not mentioned, then we can write the modular ratio 280 upon 3 sigma CBC. Because here modulus of elasticity is insisted, that's why we are going to write the formula for modular ratio is ES upon EC. ES value is a constant irrespective of grade of steel. EC value is 5000 root FCK. Here given concrete grade is M25. For M25 grade concrete, FCK is 25 megapascal. If you substitute this and simplify, you may get 8. So option D is correct. Then move to next question. Consider the following statements related to the limit state design criterion for a safe design of the structure. Here 3 statements given regarding safe design under limit state method. See the statement 1. The structure or its elements should not collapse when subjected to design loads. Yes, this statement is true. The structure should not become unfit for use due to cracking or excessive deflection. Yes, statement is true. Statement 3, the structure should reach a limit state during its design. No, should not. So statement 3 is false. So 1 correct, 2 correct. 1 and 2 are correct. Option A is correct. Okay. Then next question. What is the theoretical value of effective length of a compression member when it is effectively held in position at both ends but not restrained against rotation? See my dear. Sorry. Yeah. This is the column effectively held in position at both ends but not restrained against rotation. So we can provide the hinges here. Theoretical value and this is the height of the column. Theoretical value as well as recommended value is L only. For these conditions, my dear, effective length is L. Option C is correct. Then move to next question. An RCC beam 200 mm wide and 400 mm deep is reinforced with Fe415 grade steel of area 1000 mm square on tension side with an effective cover of 50 mm. If the shear reinforcement of 100 mm square, stirrups is provided at a spacing of 150 mm center to center. What is the ultimate shear strength VUS corresponding to the shear reinforcement? My dear, they are asking ultimate shear strength. Ultimate shear strength VUS equal to 0.87 Fy ASV into D upon SV. Substitute the values 0.87 Fy, here grade of steel given that 415, so Fy is 415. ASV, area of shear reinforcement given here 100 mm square, 100 into effective depth of the beam given here 450 mm deep and effective cover given here somewhere it is 50 mm. So 450 minus 50, 400. Effective depth is 400. Effective depth is equals to overall depth minus effective cover. Overall depth given 450, effective cover given 50. So effective depth of the beam is 400 mm upon SV, spacing given 150 mm center to center. Once if you simplify this, you may get the value 96.28, 96.28 into 10 cube Newton, that is 96.3 kilonewton. Option A is correct. Option A is correct. Then move to next question. Yeah. An RCC beam having 200 mm wide and 400 mm deep, that is the effective depth, is reinforced with the Fe415 grade steel of area 1000 mm square in tension. Assume M20 grade concrete. What is the approximate value of depth of neutral axis for the equilibrium of forces at the limit state of collapse? They are asking simply actual depth of neutral axis. My dear, actual depth of neutral axis is determined just by equating compressive force to tensile force, where compressive force in limit state method is 0.36 FCK BXU equals to tensile force is 0.87 Fy AST. Let us substitute the values 0.36 FCK. Concrete grade given here M20, so FCK is 20. B given here 200 mm. XU, my dear, we have to calculate 0.87 into Fy, grade of steel given here 415 into AST, here AST given 1000 mm square. If you simplify, you may get answer 250.73 mm. My dear, if you check the options, nearest option is 250 mm, so you can write it is 250 mm. So option B is correct. Is it clear? Right.
Okay, so now we are going to discuss about the environmental engineering and open channel flow. Now let's see. So from environmental engineering, there is only one numerical question. The question goes as, a sewage has a suspended solid constant as a 250 mg per liter. Let's say the concentration of the solid at the inlet is 250 mg per liter. And so in the sedimentation tank, the efficiency of removal, the efficiency is given as a 55%. So 55% has been removed. These 55% of the solids will be present in the sludge, right? And the water content in the sludge is 95%. So whatever the moisture content is given as 95%, and whatever the flow rate it is going to be treated is nothing but Q is equals to 6.5 into 10 to the power of 6 liters, and in a given day we are going to do all these things, right? So what they are asking is, what is the quantity of sludge produced after treating in terms of the volume? So we require the volume of the sludge. How to find out the volume of the sludge is 100 by 100 minus moisture content into mass of solids by density of the sludge. Okay. So already the specific gravity of the sludge is given 1, multiply with the density of water. So that's going to be the density of a sludge 1000. So it's all about the mass of solid. How to find out the mass of solids? The mass of solids is in terms of the kg. So in environmental engineering, any concentration of mg per liter multiplied with the mld, that is going to be gives in terms of the kg per day. So whatever the concentration of the solids in the sludge is, efficiency into Ci, initially 250, but out of that 55% is present in the sludge, 45% is going to be present in the effluent, right? So into multiply with the Q as a discharge. So 0.55 into Ci 250 into the given is 6.5 into 10 power of 6 liters. The 10 to the power of 6 is nothing but million, so 6.5. So just multiply with the 6.5, you will be getting this value as 893.75 kg per day. Now simply apply this value here. So 100 by 100 minus 95 into 893.75 by density of a sludge is specific gravity of the sludge 1 into 1000. So if you solve, you are going to end up the answer as 17.875 meter cube. So the correct answer is option C. Now let's see the next question. With the standard notations, the total subsurface soil area required for the soak pit. So what is the total subsurface soil area or dispersion trenches? The given equation goes as, in the case of the soak pit, whatever the flow rate is nothing but 204 by percolation rate, the percolation rate. So from the given options, it is going to be 200 by root T. So the correct answer is option C. Okay. Now come to the next question. Which one of the following is not the common method of the disinfection? Boiling of water by means of the heat energy, ultraviolet rays by means of the light energy, by use of the ozone, the most happening method, and the only not disinfection method is a sodium chloride. So the correct answer is option D, as they are asking the not common method. Now which one of the following is an essential requirement of the swimming pool water? You see, whatever the water we are going to use in the swimming pools, we are going to add a certain amount of the disinfectant. Generally we are going to go for the chlorine as a bleaching powder, certain amount of the chemical we are going to be add. So it should not have disinfectant, no. Minimum amount of the chemical should be added in treating water of the swimming pool. So the correct answer is option B. Now the first stage of a sewage purification by the action of anaerobic bacteria. So the decomposition by anaerobic bacteria, we call it as a putrefaction. From the given options, it's going to be the putrefaction. A liquefaction is a term related to the soil, whereas a clarification represents the plain sedimentation. Oxidation is nothing but aerobic decomposition. So the correct answer is the putrefaction. Which one of the following is the measure of light emitting property of the wastewater? That's nothing but the turbidity. So what is the turbidity? It's the ability of water. So to penetrate or to reflect the light rays, that's going to be the turbidity. It's a measure. Okay, so now which one of the following is defined as the oxygen required for the microorganisms to carry out biological decomposition of dissolved solids or organic matter in water under aerobic conditions? The amount of oxygen required by bacteria under aerobic conditions means biodegradable organic matter. So that is nothing but the biochemical oxygen demand, which is nothing but BOD. So correct answer is option A. Now chlorination, liming and recarbonation are the part of which one of the following in the context of unit operation? So in the meaning of the unit operation, if you see, the unit operation is a solute stabilization. What is meant by solute stabilization? It's a process of converting the objectionable matter into inobjectionable matter without removing from the system. So whereas chlorination, by adding chlorine, we are going to remove we are going to kill the bacteria, but we don't remove that bacteria from the water. The bacteria will be there, but it's dead. Same as in the case of the liming and in the case of the recarbonation. So the correct answer is solute stabilization. Next, the theoretical time taken by particle of water to pass between entry and exit. So when you allow the water into the sedimentation tank, whatever the time taken by the water from the entry to the exit, the theoretical time we call it as a detention time or detention period or retention period also. The correct answer is option B. Now the most commonly adapted detention time for grid chambers. In many of the textbooks they have given as 1 to 2 minutes, but
for the design purpose, generally we go for the 1 minute, which is nothing but 60 seconds. So from the given options, the nearby value is going to be 45 to 90 seconds. The correct answer is option B, 45 to 90 seconds. Next, coming to the open channel flow. So in the case of the open channel flow, a capillary weir has a length of 2 meters. First of all, what is a capillary weir? The capillary weir is nothing but the suppressed rectangular weir. Suppressed rectangular weir. So for the capillary weir, whatever the flow rate, Q is equals to 2/3 of CD into root 2G into H to the power of 3 by 2 into L. Okay. So they have given the length of the weir as L, head of the weir as H 1 meter, and CD is also given. What is the discharge? So straight away direct formula, 2/3 of 0.62 into square root of 2 into, let's take G value as a 10, into L value is 2 into 1 to the power of 3 by 2. You know root 20, let's take this root 20. Root 20 is more than 16, less than 25. Let me take it as a 4.5. 4.5 into 2, 9. 9 by 3, 3. 3 to 6, 6 into 0.62. If you solve, the nearest answer is going to be 3.66 meter cube per second. The nearest value. So 6.6636, right? 6 into 0.6, 3.6. The nearest answer is 3.66 meter cube per second. Option B is correct. Next, which one of the following is an advantage using a triangular notch over the rectangular notch? So in the case of the triangular notch, ventilation is not required. So ventilation of triangular notch is necessary. No, it's not required. Next, the same triangular notch cannot measure a wide range of flows accurately. No, it can measure the wide ranges. So so the given is not the same triangular notch cannot measure a wide range of the flows accurately. So it's not going to be happen. Now for heavy discharges, a triangular notch gives more accurate results than the rectangular notch. No, the triangular notch gives very best results for the low discharges, not for the high discharges. So this is incorrect, this is also incorrect. In a given triangular notch, only one reading is required to be taken for measurement of discharge. One reading is necessary for finding the discharge. Why, sir? In case of triangular notch, there is no end contractions. So one depth, one discharge. The correct answer is option D. Next, which one of the following statement is correct for the flow in the open channel? If you go through all the statements, you see the statement D. When the depth of the flow in a channel is greater than the critical depth, so YE is greater than YC, then the flow is said to be subcritical flow. Yes. So when Y greater than YC, it's going to be the subcritical flow. That's the correct answer, option D. Next, in a convergent mouthpiece, the constant head is given as 5 meters, diameter is given as 75 mm, then what is the discharge? So what is the discharge? Q is equals to CD into A into root of 2GH. In the case of the convergent mouthpiece, it's going to be 0.97 to 0.98. Let's assume it as 1. 0.97 to 0.98, let's assume it as 1. 1 into what is small a, sir? That small a is nothing but the area of the orifice, pi by 4 into d square. So this is 75 mm. You convert that into in terms of the meters, 0.075 square into square root of 2 into, let's take it as 10 into h as a 5. So 2 5 is 10, 10 into 10 100, root 10 is nothing but 10, right? So if you solve it, pi by 4 into 0.075 square into 10. So the nearest answer that's going to be comes as 43.8 liter per second. So you have to convert that meter cube in terms of the liters also, okay? So at the end you can do that, 43.8 liter per second. The correct answer is option C. So these are the questions from the environmental engineering and open channel flow. Along with that, we will see the irrigation and hydrology also. So now coming to the questions from the hydrology, only one question appeared from the hydrology. This question goes as. So this is more related towards the environmental engineering also. A fully penetrating well in a confined sandy aquifer. So a well is penetrated into a confined aquifer and they have given the entire data. So whatever the flow rate it is taking out is 1200 liter per minute. If you convert in terms of meter per second, 1200 liters is nothing but 1.2 meter cube per minute. So 1.2 by 1 minute 60 seconds. So that comes as meter cube per second, which is going to be 0.02 meter cube per second. This is a discharge. And in the given question, they have given the entrance velocity also. V0 is given as 0.02 meter per second. Okay. So assume the percentage of the open area of available strainer to be 15%. So, and what is the diameter? 15 centimeters. In the case of the strainer type, the water is going to be comes into the pipe from the sides, from the perimeter through the holes. So the available area of opening is equals to whatever the surface area of the pipe, pi dl into percentage of the perforations. Percentage of the perforations. So what they are asking is the length, right? Q is equals to A into V. If you observe here carefully, discharge and V0 both are going to be gets cancelled. So 0.02 is equals to area pi into d value is given as a 15 centimeters, which is 0.15 into L into 0.15 into 0.02. So this one and this one will get cancelled. And if you solve it, the length, we are going to get that length as 14.1 meter. So the correct answer is 14.1 meter. Okay. Now come to the irrigation engineering. Which one of the following is a total area bounded within the irrigation boundary of a project which can be economically irrigated? So that's a definition of the gross command area or total command area. So that's nothing but the total area that can be efficiently irrigatable or economically irrigatable without limitations of the water. The correct answer is gross command area, option A. Which one of the following techniques of water distribution in the farms, sometimes called wild flooding? Wild means uncontrolled. So from the given, uncontrolled means free, whatever the amount you want, you are going to be send it. So the correct answer is option A, free flooding. Next, which one of the following conditions is favorable for the sprinkler irrigation? So sprinkler irrigation, you are going to send as a sprinkle. You don't spread the water over the surface. Why, sir? If the soil is highly permeable, if we spread the water, the land is going to be take more amount of water. So what we require is up to root zone depth, right? So we don't go for the spreading method. The sprinkler irrigation method is suitable when the soil has a high permeability. So from the given options, when the land soil is excessively permeable, option D. Next, if the sodium ions increase to about 10% or more, then the soil becomes, if the sodium ions is going to be increases, then the soil voids are going to be gets clogged and it becomes impermeable and it is no more suitable for the irrigation purpose. So it is going to be less permeable and of poorer tilth. Next, in drip irrigation method, the drip nozzles are fixed on laterals discharging water. That's a direct question. What is the flow rate of the nozzle? It's going to be 2 to 10 liter per hour, option C. Next, if the cultivation method is faulty and less efficient, resulting in the wastage of water, the duty of water will naturally. See, when you do the faulty method, when the amount of the losses are going to be more, the amount of water that is going to be reaches to the area is going to be less. So we can cultivate less area. Duty is nothing but the total area that can be cultivated by supplying 1 cubic of the discharge, right? If we go for the faulty methods, amount of water we deliver is going to be less. Area to be delivered or area to be irrigated is also going to be less. Duty is going to be less. So the correct answer is option A, less. Don't go by means of duty is equals to area by discharge. This is valid for constant area. Here the area is not constant. The correct answer is less, not more. Now, in which of the following types of faults the energy dissipation on a straight glacis remain incomplete due to vertical component of the velocity? So if you see the vertical component from the given options, if you draw the vertical component which is inefficient is Montega type faults. Okay. So which one of the following is the correct assumption made in the two-dimensional design of the gravity dams? So what is the correct assumption that we are going to make? So here the correct assumption is the material in the foundation and body of the dam are isotropic and homogeneous. Whatever the theory we go, whatever the analysis we do, the first common assumption is homogeneous and isotropic. The correct assumption here also the body, here the dam, so option C. Now, which one of the following is the cause of the waterlogging? So what is the meaning of waterlogging? When the surface is going to be completely flooded with the water, or if water table is going to be rises up to the ground level, we are going to say it as a waterlogging. So what is the reason here? Adequate natural drainage? No. Adequate surface drainage? No. Normal rains? No. Submergence due to the floods. So due to floods, if the water is going to be submergence over there, then we are going to see the waterlogging. Now come to this question. Which of the following is a very effective method to control waterlogging? So waterlogging is going to be happen one by means of excessive precipitation, means rainfall, or excessive irrigation, are by means of the leakages from the rivers or unlined canals. If you provide a lining to the canal, then the leakages will be less. The surrounding soil will be safe from the waterlogging. So lining of canal and water courses. Water courses means streams, that's the correct. And flat topography, no. Adequate natural drainage. See, in the purpose of in aspect of the irrigation, the lining of canals is going to be the correct answer. But in aspect of the precipitation rainfall, excessive rainfall, if there is no surface natural drainage, then what will happen? The water will stagnate over there. The low-lying areas are going to be stagnant with the water. So for no water logging, irrespective of the irrigation, then adequate natural drainage also must be provided. So for this question, the two correct answers are there, option A and option C, both are going to be correct. Okay. Now, what should be done to dissipate the residual energy if the tailwater deficiencies are small? See, when you release a spillway gate, you must have to dissipate the energy by creating a hydraulic jump, right? To create the hydraulic jump, we keep some energy dissipates at the tail or at the toe of the dam. So when the tailwater deficiency is small, the correct one is the construction of the baffle wall. You don't need to provide anything else, just to provide a baffle wall, that is going to be taken care. Now, come to the last question from this part. So statement wise, in this cross drainage structure, which is given as aqueduct is constructed to negotiate an aligned canal over or below or at the same level of the stream. See, this statement would have been correct if they would not mention the aqueduct. But as they have mentioned that aqueduct, what is the meaning of aqueduct? Aqueduct meaning is drain is below, canal is above. And whereas in the case of the drain, what is the water level is high flood level. In the case of the canal, this is going to be the full supply level. So aqueduct means drain is below, canal is above. So the statement 1 is incorrect. Now aqueduct is constructed when full supply level of canal is much higher than the high flood level. Yes. So in the case of the aqueduct, this is the high flood level, this is the full supply level. Full supply level is a very high level than the high flood level. So statement 2 is correct. Statement 1 is false and statement 2 is correct. So from the given options, statement 1 is false and statement 2 is true. The correct answer is option D. So that's all with the environmental engineering, open channel flow, hydrology and irrigation.
Hi students, how did you do? We'll talk about transportation now. In transportation, all regular theory questions came except this one. So in this case, they are asking you the stopping side distance, the two-way, two-lane road is given, and the design speed is given to us 50 km/h. The friction is given, the reaction time is given. They are asking you safe SSD. Safe SSD in case of two-lane, two-way is nothing but SSD only. Safe SSD in case of two-lane, two-way is SSD. Nothing but reaction time into the speed is nothing but lag distance plus braking distance. And the speed in meter per second, if you convert that into meter per second, it is approximately 14 meter per second. V is 14 meter per second. Reaction time is given to us as 2.5 seconds. And G, you round it off to 10. F is given to us as 0.37. If you substitute all the values and simplify, it will be 61.4. The safe SSD, nothing but SSD. It is option B. Option B. A straightforward question. Two-lane, two-way, safe SSD is directly SSD, 61.4 meter. Now coming to the next question, the longitudinal joints in cement concrete pavements are constructed with longitudinal joints are with tie bars, expansion joints are with dowel bars. So direct question, direct option is option A. In which of the following systems the optimum road length is calculated based on the concept of maximum utility? Concept of maximum utility or saturation system is a system to choose the optimum road length. Option A is the right answer. So which of the following alignments is obtained by developing accompanied by tunneling? So especially you require tunneling in mountain alignment. In case of mountain alignment, if you want to take the road, you need to go for the tunneling also. The best suitable option is option C. Coming to this question, which are now the following tests is carried out using relatively large diameter plate, evaluate the load supporting capacity of the pavement. Load supporting capacity means load carrying capacity. We call it as CBR. CBR can be or the modulus of subgrade reaction can be calculated by plate load test or plate bearing test. Option D. We use 75 centimeter dia plate, that is a standard dia, and commonly we use 30 centimeter larger diameter plates. Now coming to this question, consider the following aspect of human vision which are important for a traffic engineer. Traffic engineer is concerned, he should recognize the colors. He should have visual accuracy and he should have good field of vision. So transportation engineer should have all the aspects. So answer is option D. Coming to the next question, the survey of the highway construction work for preparation of longitudinal and cross-sectional sections are done, and you need to calculate all earthwork calculation, earthwork competition and everything. So all the detailed analysis can be done in detailed survey. So this is a direct question related to survey. On survey, so many questions came in transportation. The distance between two successive vehicles moving in the same line measured from head at any instance of the time is called, the distance between the two vehicles is called distance headway or space headway or spacing, it is option A. The roads which are provided with hard pavement core surface, at least waterbound macadam road as one of the layers is generally called paved roads. Paved road will have hard top surface. Unpaved road is not having hard surface. Surface road is just a road constructed on the existing earth surface without any provision of the layers. Unsurfaced road is just raw leveling of the works. So the most appropriate answer is option A. Now coming to the next question, the planning surveys about engineering studies consisting of the planning based upon the engineering requirement is not income per capita, not living standards, not traffic volume, because they are asking you planning surveys. In planning the road network, the surveys, whatever we consider are road location and alignment survey. From the process of elimination, you can pick up the answer as option D. Now we'll talk about the two questions from the railway. Two questions came from railway. Let us see this question. Consider the following statements related to economic design of modern railway track. This is based upon the modernization of the railway track. So in the modern railway tracks, axle loads are considered. Weight reduction is a main point, especially in the Vande Bharat Express, the railway wagons, coaches are all reduced weights with more axles. So option A is true. Option 1 is, statement 1 is true. Coming to the statement 2, rail to sleeper fastenings for different type of sleepers for high speed railway track must be different. You need to standardize these fastenings and fittings. The weight of the sleeper and rail may not be related to each other. Especially in the modern railway tracks, people are using the polycarbonate sleepers. Those are all very lightweight compared to concrete sleepers. So there is no relation between the weight of the rail and weight of the sleepers. That is also true. The final answer, final option, the right option is option D. Coming to the next question, the rising of outer rail with respect to inner rail is called cant. Nothing but super elevation or angle of banking. Now coming to the questions related to surveying. In survey, the numerical type of questions came. Let us see. Which one of the following consisting of horizontal and vertical location of certain points by linear and angular measurements in natural features, along with the natural features. In topographical survey, we deal with the natural features. Natural features of a particular terrain we'll consider in topographical survey. Now look at this question, a numerical question. The line AB between the two stations A and B measured as, this is a measured length, using 20 meter length of tape, which is too short by 0.05 meter. What is the correct length of line AB? So this is a straightforward question with a simple substitution, you will get it. 20 meter length of chain is having too short by 0.05 meter. And you are measuring 348.28, which is short by how much? With cross multiplication, you can get it as 0.05 into 348.28 divided by 20. So in a length of 348.28, the shortened length is 0.87. This is shortened length. So finally correct length is equal to the measured length 348.28 minus, because shortened length, if you measure with a shortened tape, the corrected length will be more. Whatever the correction is negative correction, so it is 0.87. If you deduct 0.87, the answer is 347.4. 347.41. So this is option C. Option C is the answer. So coming to the next question, this is based upon the leveling question. So this is a ground. The leveling is carried out between the two stations P and Q, separated by 1000 meter. The backside reading is noted as 0.7 meter here. The backside is 0.7 meter. This is a leveling instrument. And this is at P. And then foresight is, and whose benchmark is 240. Next to foresight is taken an intermediate point, which is equal to 1.25 meter. This is a foresight. And next the instrument is shifted to a new station. Instrument is shifted to a new station. Again the back sight at an intermediate station is 0.85. So the back sight is 0.85, not to the scale. And finally at station Q, the foresight is taken equal to, foresight is 0.85. The back sight is taken, finally the foresight of the reading at Q is 1.10. They are asking you the reduced level of station Q. If you want reduced level of station Q, you need to calculate the height of instrument here. So height of the instrument here is equal to 240 plus 0.7. And here it is, if you want RL of this point, 240 plus 0.7 minus 1.25. And if you want again the height of instrument here, 240 plus 0.7 minus 1.25, again we need to take 0.85, and RL of this point is equal to 240 plus 0.7 minus 1.25 plus 0.85 minus 1.10. So this comes out to be 239.2. So the answer here is option A. So direct leveling question, diagram is not to the scale. Coming to the next question, the length of a line originally 100 meter. This is based upon the shrinkage of the plan, plus there is length correction. So original length is 100 mm and the shrunk length is equal to, shrunk length is 96 mm. The scale RF is equal to 1 by 1000. So first shrinkage ratio will take it. Shrinkage ratio is equal to, shrinkage ratio 96 by 100. Now RF is also given 1 by 1000. Now what is the measured area? The measured area given as 282 mm square. The corrected area, measured area by shrinkage ratio whole square. If you take, because it's area, we are taking shrinkage ratio whole square, it becomes 305.99 mm square. The RF is equal to 1:1000. This is what given to us. 1 mm is equal to 1000 mm, or otherwise 1 mm is equal to 1000 mm is nothing but 1 meter. Otherwise, if you take into the square, I am squaring on either side, 1 meter square. So correct area on the map is 305.99 mm square. On field is equal to 305.99 meter square directly, because mm square is equal to meter square. But what's happening is the length of the line is not measured by the exact length of the chain. You have some wrong length of the chain. So what about the correct length? The correct length, correct area is equal to the measured area after conversion into the RF into the wrong length by correct length, as you are taking area whole square. So it is 305.99. The wrong length is 20.03 divided by 20 whole square. If you simplify, It is 307 meter square. Any answer matching? Yes. Answer is option B. Okay. Little calculations, lengthy but easy to calculate, not a big issue but lengthy, time taking question. Now coming to this question, in a map versus aerial photograph, due to symbolic representation, the clarity of details is, especially compared to map, aerial photograph gives you more accurate data, more accurate details. So less on map than a photo. The clarity and the details are more on map than a photo. So actually speaking, photo gives you more accurate details. Less on map and more on photo. Okay. So answer is option A. Next comes to, in multi-level classification system, level floor classification is suitable for, this is a option, it's a direct question, is option A. Now coming to the next question, the chainage of two intersection points is given to us and the angle of intersection is 120 degrees is given. Radius of the circular curve is R given to us and peg interval is given as 30 meter. The chain length is 30 meter. What is the length of the curve they are asking you initially? So the deflection angle is equal to 180 minus intersection angle. The intersection angle is 120. 180 minus 120 is nothing but 60 degrees is a delta. And if you want to calculate the length of the curve, L is equal to R into included angle. This you need to convert into radian, pi by 180. So radius is 570 into 60 into pi by 180. So the length of the curve will be, you keep pi as it is, it will be 190 pi. Answer here is 190 pi meter, option A. Now with the same data, another question is given. What is the length of the long chord? Length of the long chord is equal to 2r sine included angle by 2. 2 into radius is given to us. If you substitute radius of a circular curve 570 into sine delta 60 by 2. If you simplify, it would be 570. So answer here is option D. Okay. So these are the questions from the survey. The other faculty member will come for the next topic, strength of material. Thank you.
Hello friends, coming to the strength of material, almost all are straightforward questions. Only one question we are having out of box, a little bit out of box. Let's see one by one question. First question, a cantilever beam is subjected to a point load against the gravity. At its free end, the variation and the nature of bending moment asking. So clearly, we are applying one point load on a cantilever beam against gravity, upward. When you are taking the bending moment diagram, obviously under a point load it is taking linear variation, but here the force is acting in upward direction, it is giving the sagging effect. So option B is correct, linear and sagging for this question. Option B is correct. Let's move to the next question. A cast iron pipe has a 300 mm bore and 10 mm metal thickness, and it is supported between 2 points. The distance between the supports is given as 8 meters. What is the internal area? Asking internal area. So obviously it is a straightforward question. Now internal area, if I take, it is nothing but pi upon 4 d square. Here options we are having in meter square, so you can take that 300 into in terms of meter. 0.3 square, how much we are having? 0.07069 meter square we are having. So for this one, option A is correct, asking internal area. Let's move to the next question. If I take the next question, see this one, it is from shear stress analysis. A rectangular cross-section beam of size 300 millimeter and 500 millimeter is subjected to a shear force of 20 kilonewtons. What is the shear stress at a layer that is 150 mm above the neutral axis? Given cross-section, it is a rectangular cross-section having the dimensions B, it is given as 300 millimeters, and D, it is given as 500 millimeters. Let's say this is the neutral axis. One layer we need to select. This is the layer that is at a distance of 150 mm, clearly mentioned. Here we need to find out the shear stress. This is the area we are concerning. And if I take the shear at any layer, standard formula we are having SAY bar divided by INA dot B. So here if I take the Y bar we are having it is 200 clearly, and this is 300 and this is 100. Substitute all the values and try to get the answer. Yes, it is given as 20 kilonewtons that I am taking in newtons, and area, this shaded area I am considering 100 into 300. Y bar it is 200 divided by INA, it is a rectangular cross section, BD cube divided by 12. BD cube divided by 12, and this is B. If you simplify, finally we are having it is 16 divided by 125. After that we are getting 0.128 megapascal. That is nothing but 0.13 megapascal. So option D is correct for this question. Let's move on to the next question. Which one of the following is not an assumption of, this is important. Euler's column theory, Euler formula, assumptions if I consider this one. In Euler theory, yes, direct stress is negligible, that is only mentioned. The direct stress is very small compared to the bending stress, absolutely correct. Self weight of the column is considerable, this is absolutely wrong. It is not considerable, it is not the assumption of a Euler theory. Let me take this one, the cross section of the column is uniform throughout. Yes, we are dealing with prismatic columns, the column will fail by buckling at around. So only option B is the not assumption related to the Euler theory. Right? Option B is correct. Let's move on to the next question. See, it is related to the Mohr circle. Look at here, statement 1, if I consider any orthogonal set of axes are 180 degrees to one another on Mohr circle. Yes, absolutely right. In Mohr circle, every angle is double the original angle. So, if the original angle between the two axes is 90, but it was shown as 180. Statement 1 is correct. Now come to the statement 2. The distance between these axes is half of the diameter of the circle. That is nothing but the distance between these two axes is given as the radius of the Mohr circle. Let us take this one. Any two axes I may consider. Now let me take, this is one axis, this is another axis. The angle between these two is 180 degrees. And look at here, what is the distance between these two? It is showing the diameter of the Mohr circle, but he is saying it is half of the diameter of the Mohr circle. That means statement 1 is correct statement, but statement 2 is a false statement. See this one, option C, if I take this one, statement 1 is true, but statement 2 is false. Option C is correct for this question. Let's move on to the next question. This is a standard one. Poisson's ratio for the cast iron, that is in between 0.2 to 0.3. So which option is correct? Option B is correct for this question. Now let's take the next one. A cylindrical bar of 25 mm diameter and 1.2 meter length is subjected to a longitudinal strain during a tensile stress is 4 times the lateral strain. Longitudinal strain, it is given as 4 times lateral strain. From this one, we are getting the Poisson's ratio. Poisson's ratio, we are having 1 by 4, that is 0.25. That's fine. What we require? The value of shear modulus. Clearly, Young's modulus value is also given. So then take the relation between EG mu, E equal to 2Z into 1 plus mu. Our requirement is Z, that is E divided by 2 into 1 plus mu. E it is given as 1.2 into 10 to the power 5 divided by 2 into 1 plus 0.25. But look at here, options we are having in kilonewton per mm square. First we are having the answer, it is 0.48 into 10 power 5 Newton per mm square. Try to convert this into kilonewton per mm square. Then we are having, that is 48 kilonewton per mm square. 48 kilonewton per mm square, we are identifying at number D. Option D is correct for this question. Let's move on to the next question. Again, if you are observing, it is a again standard question. Which one of the following statements is not correct? Again, not correct statement. For structural steel, the rupture strength is higher than ultimate strength. It's incorrect. Clearly, rupture strength is always less than the ultimate strength. So this is a not correct statement. Anyhow, move to the next options. Yield stress is the lowest stress at which the extension of the test piece increases without further increase in the load, that we are observing in a stress strain diagram. This is correct. The ultimate strength is commonly taken as the maximum stress of the material. Absolutely right. That is also. Ultimate strength is the ratio of maximum load to the original cross-sectional area. Option D is also correct, but asking not correct statement. So option A is the answer, required answer for this question. Let's move on to the next question. A prismatic bar has the cross-section of 25 mm to 50 mm. Area is mentioned 25 by 50 mm square. And the length is 2 meter. If the bar is subjected to an axial tensile force of 90 kilonewtons, that I am taking in newtons. The bar is elongated by, del L is given as 1.5 millimeter. But what we require? What is the tensile stress? Direct straightforward question. Stress equal to load by area. Load given as 90 into 10 cube newtons. Area 25 into 50. Simplify this, you are having 72 Newton per mm square. So option D is a correct statement. Now let's move to the next one. If I take, it's a direct definition for the principal stress. The normal stress across the principal plane is known as principal stress. Option C is correct for this one. Let's take this one. This is from theories of failure. If the principal stresses at a point in an elastic material are sigma 1 is given as 2F tensile, sigma 2 is given as 1.5F tensile, sigma 3 it is given as F with the compression. That's fine. What is the value of F at the failure using maximum principal stress theory? So we need to apply the maximum principal stress theory. As per this theory, maximum of these three set, sigma 1, sigma 2 by the magnitude, sigma 3 when it is reaching its limiting value. Limiting value here it is given as elastic limit stress. You consider that, right? This is given as 210. So out of these three, this is 2F, this is 1.5F, and this is F we are having. Let us take this one. It should be equal to 210. So 2F is the maximum absolute value. This is 210, F equal to 210 divided by 2. How much we are having? 105 Newton per mm square. Option D is correct for this question. Let's move on to the next question. Look at this one. Consider the following statements related to the Tresca failure theory, maximum shear stress theory, guest theory. Some statements are clearly mentioned. Out of this, which is a not correct statement? Out of all these three, which is not. Look at here, this theory is well justified for ductile materials, absolutely correct. Next one, it gives the accurate results for the state of stress of pure shear in which the maximum amount of shear is developed. Whatever the results we are having from this theory under pure shear conditions are exactly matching with the experimental results that the statement is showing, but it's absolutely wrong. As per this theory, as per MSST, the maximum shear stress developed it is 0.5 times sigma yield. But what is the experimental value? Experimental value, if you consider tau max, it is 0.57 times sigma yield. This is most conservative but not accurate. So statement 2 is incorrect related to this one. Come to the third statement. The results of this theory differ from the experimental results for the materials having larger difference in elastic stress limits in tension and compression. If the properties are differ in both tension and compression, whatever the results we are having from this theory, they are differ from the experimental results. Absolutely right. This is also correct that this type of results we are observing in case of brittle materials like cast iron. So here asking, look at here, consider the following statements. Out of this three statements, which of the above statements is not correct? This is statement 2 is not correct. Remaining 2 are related to that particular theory only. Look at here. So option B is correct for this one, right? That is incorrect statement. Now let's move to the next one. Which one of the following statements is correct for an isotropic material? So in strength of material, by default, every material is a homogeneous and isotropic. For homogeneous and isotropic, how many elastic constants we define? 4, E, G, mu, K, as we know. Out of these 4, usually we may consider E and mu are independent elastic constants. We are predicting them from simple tension test. The value of G and K are depending on E and mu. That's why generally G and K we are considered as a dependent elastic constants. Now look at the statements. All 4 statements are given related to the shear modulus. Look at here. Shear modulus is independent of Young's modulus. Absolutely wrong. It depends on Young's modulus value. Shear modulus is independent of Poisson's ratio. It is also incorrect. Shear modulus is independent of Young's modulus and Poisson's ratio. This is also incorrect. Now shear modulus is not independent. Absolutely, it depends. The value of shear modulus depends on the Young's modulus and Poisson's ratio. So which option is correct? Option D is correct for this question. Now let's move to the next one. This is related to the generalized Hooke's law. Look at here. A body is loaded elastically so that the strain in y direction, epsilon y, it is given as 0. Simultaneously, normal stress in z direction is given as 0. These are the 2 conditions we are having. Sigma x and sigma y as a finite. That means we need to consider considerable amount of sigma x and sigma y we are observing. What is the value of strain in z direction in terms of stress in x direction? And properties are given. Young's modulus is E and Poisson's ratio is mu. Let's see, first I am using this condition. From this condition, epsilon y given as 0, let us take the generalized Hooke's law. Sigma y divided by E minus mu times sigma x divided by E minus mu times sigma z divided by E. Z value clearly mentioned, it is 0. Then simplify that. If I simplify from this one, I am predicting the value of sigma y in terms of sigma x. What is its value? Sigma y equal to mu times sigma x. But this is not asking. Asking a strain in z direction, epsilon z. Let us take the generalized Hooke's law. Sigma z divided by E minus mu times sigma x divided by E minus mu times sigma y divided by E. As sigma z is given as 0, minus mu times sigma x divided by E. In place of sigma y, you can take mu times sigma x divided by E. Take minus mu sigma x divided by E as common. Then here it is having 1, then it is mu. So minus mu sigma x divided by E into 1 plus mu. So option D is correct for this question. Option D is the correct answer. Right? Let's move on to the next question. This is somewhat slightly out of the box. Generally, we are not studying the concept of stress invariant in a graduation level. Anyhow, let's see, direct formula based question only. What are the 3 stress invariants respectively in a body under the state of stresses? Sigma x value is given, sigma y value is given, sigma z is given, tau yz and tau zx or tau xy, these values are given. So ultimately it is a 3-dimensional matrix, stress matrix. From this one we need to find out the first stress invariant and second stress invariant and third stress invariant, my dear friends. Already in the concept of principal stresses and strains, we are dealing with the first stress invariant, that is algebraic sum of the normal stress on any perpendicular planes remains constant. But we are not dealing with the second and the third. Now let me take the formula for this one. If I take a direct formula for this one, so second stress invariant, we are having a sigma x, sigma y plus sigma y, sigma z plus sigma z, sigma x minus tau xy square minus tau yz square minus tau xz square. Every values are given, directly you can substitute that. Come to the third stress invariant. Let us take the third stress invariant, sigma x, sigma y, sigma z plus 2 tau xy, tau yz, tau zx minus sigma z into tau xy square minus sigma x into tau yz square minus sigma y into tau xz square. Everything is there, just you substitute. If I substitute sigma, first stress invariant, we are having a 13, my dear friends. First one is the 13. Second one I am having a minus 115. And the third one we are having a minus 138. Minus 138. Here minus is missing in option B, so most relevant option in this case is option B. This is somewhat slightly out of the box, but direct formulas we are having, just use that particular formula, right? Now let's move on to the next question. Again it is SFD-BMD. A cantilever beam of 4 meter span carries 3 point loads 1 kilonewton, 2 kilonewton and 2 kilonewton at a 2 meter, 3 meter and 4 meter from the fixed end respectively. Then what we required, what is the bending moment at a 3 meter distance from the fixed support. Now let's take this one. Here if I take this one, options are given clearly, direction is also mentioned for the bending moment. Let us take this one. This is a cantilever beam. 1 kilonewton's load is applied. Here 1 kilonewton load at a distance of 2 meters from the fixed support. 2 kilonewtons at a distance of 3 meters. That means here 2 kilonewton load, here to here is 1, from fixed end it is 3. And 2 kilonewtons load again we are having at 4 meter distance from fixed support. That means here to here already 2 plus 1, 3, here 1 meter we are. What is asking? At this section, we require the bending moment. Let us consider this part. If I consider that part, bending moment, if I take 2 into 1, 2 kilonewton meter rotation, anti-clockwise sense of rotation. So look at here, 2 kilonewton meter we are observing at a D, it is in anti-clockwise sense of rotation. Option D is correct for this question. Let's move on to the next question. Again it is SFD and BMD. A simply supported beam of 9 meters span carries a point load of 30 kilonewtons at a 2 meter distance from the left support. Given beam is a simply supported beam, total length of the beam is 9 meters. Let us mark this as A. Here we are having one point load 30 kilonewtons at a distance of 2 meters, that's fine. It is also carries a UDL of 1 kilonewton per meter over 4 meter span from the right support. So partial UDL we are observing. So here partial UDL, what is the rate of loading? It is 12 kilonewton per meter, that's fine. Span of UDL 4 meters, convert this into equivalent force. 12 into 4, it is at a distance of 2 meters as we know. Let us mark the support as D. What we require, the value of shear force at 5 meter from the left support. So cut the section somewhere at here. This is a 5 meter distance. So here we require the shear force. Now first you try to find out the support reaction RA by using equilibrium equations. So just I am taking the summation of moments about D equal to 0. Let us take this one, RA at a distance of, it is clockwise sense of rotation, RA at a distance of 9 meters, total distance is 9 na. Minus 30 at a distance of 7, similarly minus 12 into 4, 48 at a distance of 2 equal to 0. How much? If I simplify that, what is the value we are having? Let us take this one, RA value we are having 34. Then once I have the RA value, Try to find out the shear force at x equal to 5 meter from left support. Two forces we are having, RA positive value, 30 negative value. RA 34 minus 30, how much? 4 kilonewton is the shear available at that section, 4 kilonewton. Option A is correct for this question. Let's move on to the next question. It is also directly discussed in the classroom. What is the ratio of elongation of a rectangular bar due to the self weight? Let me take this one. So, let us say the self weight of the bar is W. Self weight of the bar is W. What is the ratio of elongation of a rectangular bar due to the self weight to the elongation if the total weight of the bar applied at its end? Suppose the same weight if I use at the free end of this bar, then what is the self weight elongation in this case? As we know, self weight elongation in terms of self weight, it is WL divided by 2AE, but here use this one. In place of W, if I take P 2AE, yes, this is the elongation due to the direct load. So, asking this ratio, del L SW to the del L direct. It is nothing but 1 by 2. 1 by 2 we are identifying at option A. Option A is correct for this question. Let's move on to the next question. The stresses on two perpendicular planes through the point are 60 Newton per mm square tension. One, it is 60 with the tension. Second one is 40 with the compression. Let us say this is sigma y and this is sigma x, that's fine. In addition to, shear is applied on this element. Shear value, it is given as 30 Newton per mm square. What is the absolute normal stress on a plane at 60 degrees to that of the tangential stress? Here we are having some ambiguity in this particular problem. Asking the normal stress value at 60 degrees to the tensile stress. That means indirectly is giving the angle theta with respect to horizontal plane. But if I take that into the consideration, options are not matching. That's why directly theta here we are using 60 degrees. But originally as per this one. So here they need to give the stress on a plane at 60 degrees to the top of the plane of tensile stress. Then this is correct. But anyhow we are using this one because of that reason. 60, as we know the transformation equations, just use the transformation equation related to the stress. Cos 2 theta plus tau xy sin 2 theta. Right, sigma x here 60, sigma y minus 40 divided by 2 plus 60 plus 40 divided by 2 cos 120 degrees, theta you can use as 60. Then only options are matching. Tau xy it is given as 30 sin 120. If you simplify, final answer we are having 10.98 Newton per mm square. Option A is correct for this question. Let's move on to the next question. Which one of the following statements is correct? So let us see this one. The rate of change of shear force along the length of the beam is equal to the bending moment. Absolutely right. So dF divided by dx, the rate of change of shear force clearly mentioned. dF divided by which of the following statements is correct? The rate of change of shear force along the length of the beam is equal to the bending moment. So look at here, this is the dF divided by dx, it is nothing but omega na? Omega. So clearly the rate of change of shear force. So what are the relations we are having? Second relation dm divided by dx if I take, second relation if I take this one, dm divided by dx it is nothing but F. These are the relations we are having. The rate of change of shear force along the length of the beam is equal to the bending moment, rate of loading. The bending moment is 0 at the point where shear force changes its sign. Absolutely right. So this is the condition we are having. The bending moment is 0. This is incorrect. But asking correct statement, the bending moment is 0 where the shear force changes its. This is also incorrect. This is also incorrect. Look at here. This is also incorrect. The bending moment is 0 at the point where the shear force changes its sign. That is also incorrect. Asking correct statement. Shear force changes abruptly at the point of application of the couple. Couple, because of couple, we are observing a sudden change in bending moment value, not a shear force value. This is also incorrect. Look at here. Rate of change of bending moment changes abruptly because of point load. Look at here, rate of change of bending moment. Look at here, rate of change of bending moment. Look at here, it is nothing but shear force. Absolutely. So what he is saying? He is saying because of point load, there is a sudden change in the shear force value. Absolutely right. So this is the correct statement. So rate of change of bending moment changes abruptly. Rate of change of bending moment is nothing but shear force. So in statement D, he is saying because of point load, we are having a abrupt change, sudden change in the shear force value. Absolutely right. So option D is correct for this question. These are the simple questions we are having. So from the strength of material, hope you did all very well. Next subject will continue.
So, dear student, next construction planning and management. So, in this subject, there are 12 questions. Almost 90% questions are very easy. Only 2-3 questions are somewhat tough. Just let us see the questions. Which one of the following statement is correct? CPM is developed especially for research and development works. It is absolutely wrong, because CPM is only deterministic and not well suited for this R&D works. R&D works means only PET is well suited. PET is developed for the quality control laboratory work at construction site. Actually, it is no way concerned with the quality and only scheduling tool. So PET is a method of statistically evaluating project duration over a time sensitive data. Where time has uncertainty, like uncertain time phases are there, we use PET. So this is absolutely correct. Of course, no need to go through the option D anyways. A project schedule is a rough timetable of construction operation, not correct. So actually project schedule is basically will give the idea, it is meant for only schedule development and will get project duration. So next question, so which one of the following is not considered for the estimation of activity duration? So while estimating activity duration, what are the parameters need to be considered? And here the not evaluate activities one at a time independently of all others. It is correct. For each activity, assume a normal level of manpower and equipment. So it is also correct, because when you are estimating time duration, always we are going to take only normal resources. If time units of working days are being used, assume an exceptional day with maximum working hours. Okay, in a day, maximum working hours, say 8 hours a day. 8 hours we consider in a day. So this is also correct. So 3 are correct. So obviously answer is option D. Normal weather conditions. Actually project activity need not to be a building activity or construction activity. So even EPC, engineering, procurement and construction activities, their weather conditions are no way concerned. So this is option D. Option D is a wrong for activity duration. So coming to next question, which one of the following statement is not correct related to total float? Okay, once we go through the diagram, then you can understand. So total float, how do we find out total float for any activity? Suppose activity I to J, the duration of activity I to J is Dij. At I, earliest value EI, latest value Li. At J, earliest value EJ, latest value Lj. So when you look at event, this is earliest occurrence time of event I, latest occurrence time of event I. This is earliest occurrence time of jth event, latest occurrence time of jth event. When you look at activity, this will become earliest start time, EST of activity I to J, and the last one is becoming LFT, latest to finish time. Okay, when you look at total float is equal to available time minus required time. What is available time? Lj minus Ei is available time. Required time is equal to Dij. So this can be written as LFT minus EST minus duration. So further I can write LFT minus EST plus duration. So EST plus duration nothing but EFT. So it is becoming LFT minus EFT, or else we can write in terms of LST minus EST. So what is being observed? Total float is equal to LFT minus EFT or LST minus EST. Okay, from the options, total float of an activity is obtained by subtracting its earliest start time from latest, correct. Subtracting the earliest finish time from latest finish time, correct. Activities with a zero total float. Actually, total float is equal to zero critical activity. It is absolutely correct. So answer is option D. Option D is a wrong one because 3 are correct. The wrong one is option D. So next, for heavy civil projects, examination of weight and dimensions limit of the road is related to. So when you're selecting any construction equipment or machinery, first we have to decide the haul road as well as mobility also. So what kind of road conditions we had, then so that we can plan our equipment, construction equipment. Even selection of equipment is also a part of when you are selecting any equipment, we need to see the site conditions also as well as haul road conditions. So that's why what we can say it is equipment planning. Answer is option A. Equipment planning is dealing with the things related to road also. Next, the basic objective of which one of the following is to supply and support the field operation so that established time objectives can be met, costs can be kept within the construction budget. So this is somewhat related to resources. So when you talk about resources like men, machine, material, money in a particular time and within the limited budget, how do you complete everything? That is nothing but simply we can say resource management. So resource management is one of the biggest subjects where we come across different types of resources. Answer is option B. So next question. So which one of the following is not the characteristic of equipment management and scheduling? So when you're planning for equipment, when you're managing something, no, then obviously we have to see that what kind of actual conditions, what are the working conditions and what kind of equipment we are using, then whether it is right or wrong, we have to decide. So let us have the options. Work should be planned and scheduled to achieve the fullest use of every equipment, minimizing the idle time. Actually, no equipment should be idle, no worker should be idle, no tool should be idle. That is actually the concept. This is correct. To the maximum extent possible, equipment sent to the job should be of the type that will best perform the work under actual. So this is like somewhat right method, right tool, right equipment, right person, right time, right machinery, everything should be right conditions. This is correct. The temptation to overload equipment is an effort to get more production is common but counterproductive. What is the meaning of this? There is a myth. So when we are loading any equipment, if you have excess load, you may be thinking that economics may be working out or there is a chance of getting more productivity. That is absolutely wrong. So overproduction and over loading any equipment is going to be failed. Even safety aspects, there is a failure. So this is generally the statement wise correct, but it is no way concerned to management and scheduling. The last one, examination of weight and dimensions limit of the road for carrying. This is also a part of equipment management. So what is our, maybe here, don't forget, not the characteristics. So what is the answer here? Option C. Next question, Gantt chart. We know very well Gantt chart is basically horizontal bar chart where horizontal bars are used for activity representations. Now you can look at the first one. Activities are illustrated as bars or horizontal timeline. This is correct. Beginning and end of any bar coincides with activity start and end. The activity start means the beginning of bar. End of bar is nothing but activity ending. So this is absolutely correct. The time and operational concurrency aspects of the schedule is missed in the chart. Actually, bar chart is also meant for resource loading and we can plan resources based upon the time schedule only. So in resource loading, resource allocations, we use only bar chart. So this is missed in the chart. It is not correct. So answer is option C. We are supposed to find out not correct. So it is incorrect because in bar chart we can manage everything. And of course, illustrations are given in the activities are distributed in the project timeline. All activities can be shown in the horizontal bars. So what is the answer here? Option C. So next, which of one of the following statement is not correct related to line of balance, LOB? So line of balance is a technique where we have a repetitive operations and when we have a repetitive operation, then optimization point of view, or when you divert resources and when you allocate resources, at that time we use line of balance. Okay, now look at the options. It represents both a presentation format and a scheduling technique, correct? It is a very visual method of processing a particular type of project. So we can have a chart. From the chart we can find out the resources required and resources, excess resources or maybe deficient, everything we can plan with the help of line of balance. It allows the planning team a single sequence without any option. Based upon this statement, actually it allows the planning team a single sequence without any option. This is actually some meaningless statement. Without any option, only single sequence, not correct. So there is a chance of even having some kind of relaxations also, like we can have flexibility. But here mentioned single sequence without any option. This, it seems it is a incorrect statement related to LO bid. Straight away I can take option C. Even no need to go for option D. Option C is the right answer, because here we have to find out not correct. Don't forget this. So next, which of the following statement is correct? PET is commonly used in the construction works. Actually CPM is used in construction works. Okay, but the question is which one is correct from the option? So this is wrong. PET is suitable for the estimation of activity duration where high levels of uncertainty. Yes, absolutely right. Now straight away I can take option B. Don't waste the time in reading the remaining options. Those who are taking the next, like no, ESE 2024, those who are preparing, for them I am advising. A few questions straight away you can answer without taking the options, like which is correct, which is incorrect. Either you can use selection criteria or elimination criteria. I am using selection criteria. What is the selection criteria I am using? PET is generally uncertain. So straight away I can take option B. Don't take C and D, not required, not necessary. So here list 1, list 2. Lucky thing or good thing is the examiner is really good enough. He has given only 3 items in the list 1, 3 items in the list 2. No ambiguity. Suppose list 4 contains 4 items, no, then it is becoming a complex. Now straight away I can take at least a strong point you observe in this. When you are matching any list, strong point or maybe either you can use the selection criteria or elimination criteria. So what is the selection criteria you can follow? Just look at the resource management. Resource management is basically a judicious allocation of physical resources. So it is a generalized term, resources means. So I can match a P and a 2. So P2. So P2, where we had P2, directly I can take option A. Just look at the remaining also. Q, manpower leveling. Manpower leveling, practical improvement of allocation of labor resources. Here you can just find manpower. So labor resources at least. Either you can use Q3 also. Next R1, supply chain management. Supply chain management is basically dealing with only the logistics and how to supply the materials and all. So R1, the answer is A. So directly we can use one strong point here. Next, for repetitive operations, when the word comes repetitive word is a key word, that is a line of balance. Straight away I can take option B, line of balance. So next, one question is missing, that is actually question number 136. This code is code paper 2, code is B code. Question number 136, this is related to BIM. So building information modeling. So there are 3 statements. The first statement, building information modeling has the ability to produce 3D CAD models. Yes. So it can produce 3D CAD models. Sequencing of the construction operations can be studied under the schedule, can be incorporated in the BIM model. Actually BIM different dimensions we find, even 3D, 4D, 5D, 6D, 7D. So in 5D model you can find the cost. In 4D model you can find time. In 3D model you can just find the all specifications in the form of like a building blocks in the form of 3D. Okay, so second statement is also correct because of time we can add, cost also we can add. Third statement, BIM has capability of adding what some refer to as the 5th dimension, the verbal definition of installed items. Actually this statement is somewhat vague. 5th dimension is basically related with the cost, but he has given a verbal definition of installed items. Maybe this statement is mismatching from the available literature only I am telling. Okay, from the standard literature we can find that this 5th dimension is not at all relative verbal information regarding the installed items. Only cost is mentioned in the fifth dimension. So I can say this third statement is inappropriate. So what about right answer here? 1 and 2. So 1 and 2 are correct. So option B is going to be the right answer because here he has given option B 1 and 2 only. So that's all about concession planning and management. So the next faculty, the next subject will be handled by my colleague faculty. So Mr. Mallikarjun.
So hi everyone. Now we'll see the design of steel structure questions. Okay, total number of questions are 12 from this subject. Okay, right. So first question, these are the maximum slenderness ratio values. Okay, direct codal values only. Okay, given a member carrying compressive load resulting from dead load and imposed load. Imposed load is nothing but live load, right? Okay, so what is the maximum slenderness ratio value? It is 180. Okay, right, P2. Next, a member subjected to compressive forces resulting only from combination with wind or earthquake load action, provided the deformation of such member does not adversely affect the stress in any part of the structure. Here given wind load or earthquake load. Okay, so this is 250, right? Okay, right. Then next, compression flange of beam against lateral torsional buckling. This is 300. So R4. Okay. Then here member always under tension. This is called pure tension member, right? So for pure tension member it is 400. Okay. Then option A is correct. Next question. The thickness of flat lacing bar shall not be less than. Okay. So students, minimum thickness for single lacing and double lacing. Okay, for single lacing minimum thickness is L1 by 40. This is for single lacing. Okay, for double lacing this is L1 by 60. This is for double lacing. Okay, so here this is for single lacing given right here. Okay, so for single lacing it is 1 by 40, but this is wrong. Okay. Next, for double lacing 1 by 60, but he given 40, this is wrong. Okay. Next, for double lacing this is 1 by 60, yes, 1 by 60, then option C is correct. Okay, then no need to check the option D. Next, so here given two plates, that is 18 mm and joint to a 16 mm plate. Okay, so 200 mm long, this is the effective butt weld is given. Okay, what is the strength of joint if double V butt joint? Okay, double V butt weld. So assume that Fe410 grade of plate and sharp weld is given. Okay, partial safety factor value is different, right? Okay, so what is the partial safety factor value? For sharp welding it is 1.25. For field welding it is 1.5. Okay, so what is the formula? Here TDW equals to strength of butt weld. Okay, so effective length, effective throat thickness, yield stress divided by gamma MW, right? So what is the effective length is given? 200. Then here what is the effective throat thickness? Okay, here given double V butt joint. This is a fully penetrated butt weld, right? Then for fully penetrated butt weld, effective throat thickness equals to thickness of plate only, but here two thickness are given. We will consider minimum thickness. Which one is minimum? 16 mm. Okay, then yield stress is given. Here yield stress is 240 because the grade of steel is given. This is the ultimate stress is 450. Then yield stress is 250. Then this is 1.25. If you solve this, we will get 640 into 10 to the power of cube Newton. Then this is 640 kilo Newton. But here there is a no 640 kilo Newton. Okay, so no option is matching. Okay, but answer is 640. Right. Next question. Right. Consider the following statements related to principle of design of connection. Okay, design of connection. First one, the center of gravity of bolt should coincide with the center of gravity of connected member. Yes, if the center of gravity of bolt and connected member, if it is coincide, then eccentricity is 0. If eccentricity is 0, then there is no reduction in the strength of member because there is no bending stresses. Okay, yes, one is correct. Second, the length of connection should be kept as small as possible. Yes, okay. If it is long joint or long connection, stress distribution will become non-uniform. If the stress distribution become, if it is non-uniform, then there is a reduction in the strength. Okay, then 1 and 2 both are correct, so option C is correct. Okay, right. Next question, nominal shear capacity of bolt given, and what is the design capacity of bolt if slip resistance is designated, this is the service load is given. Okay, so we have direct formula here. So here VDF equals to VNSF divided by gamma MF. Okay, so nominal shear is given, this is 82335, right? Okay, 82335. Okay, then students, here this is given service load. For service load, partial safety factor is 1.1. If it is given ultimate load, then it is 1.25. Given here service load, right? Okay, then if you solve this one, then you will get 74850 Newton. Okay, then option B is correct. Next question, which one of the following is an advantage of welded connection? Which one is the advantage? Okay, we have a lot of advantages and disadvantages, right? Now we'll see the only advantages. Noise produced in welding process is relatively less. Yes, compared to riveted bolted connection, noise produced is less. Yes, this is correct. Okay, advantage only. And proper welding in field condition is difficult. Yes, in field condition is difficult. Okay, so this is the disadvantage. Okay, this is disadvantage. The inspection of weld joints required non-destructive testing. Yes, this is also a disadvantage. There is a greater possibility of brittle fracture in welding. Yes, this is a disadvantage. Then only advantage is option A is correct. Okay. Next, consider the following statements related to lug angle. Okay, here if the main member is angle section, okay, we have channel section and angle section, right? Here main angle is angle section, right? Now we'll see first one. The strength of lug angles and faster connecting lug angle to the gusset plate should be at least 20% more than force in outstanding leg. Yes, it is correct. Okay, because for outstanding leg there is a shear lag effect, right? Because of shear lag effect, then there is a reduction in the strength, but there is no shear lag effect for connected leg. Okay, yes, correct. Then next, the strength of fasteners connecting lug angle and main member should be at least 40%. Yes, okay, main angle is angle section. So if lug angle is connected to angle section, it is 40%. If lug angle is connected to channel section, it is 20%. Okay, next, the whole area of member is net area less deduction for bolt hole. No, this is wrong. Okay, so how to find the net area? Net area equals to gross area minus bolt hole area. Okay, minus bolt hole area. Okay, this is wrong. Then 1 and 2 are correct. Okay, then option C is correct. Next question. The shear force for which each lacing shall be designed if two parallel planes, okay, system of lacing is there is in column is. Okay, students, this is the shear force is 2.5% of column load, right? Okay, but he given parallel planes are 2, that is I given notation n, right? So these are the n is nothing but number of parallel planes. Here given 2, right? Okay, then 2.5% divided by 2, then you will get 1.25% of column load. Then B is correct. Okay. Next question. To account for shear deformation, the effective slenderness ratio of battened columns. Okay, so effective slenderness ratio increases by 10%, right, for battened column. Okay, this is 1.1 times the maximum actual slenderness ratio. If it is lacing column, it is increases by 5%. Okay. Then next, the maximum pitch for tension and compression. For tension, 16 times of T or 200 mm, okay, whichever is less, and for compression 12 times of T or 200 mm, okay. So 16 times of T or 200, the option C is correct, okay. Then next, the minimum size of fillet weld for 20 mm to 32 mm plate. So this is the direct codal value, this is the 6 mm, okay, right. Next question, what is the section modulus required to design an angle purlin which experience a maximum bending moment is given 10 kilonewton meter if the section is made with Fe 250 grade steel, okay. So we have formula to find the effective slenderness ratio of purlin, okay. So moment divided by 1.33 into 0.66 Fi. Okay, just substitute here, but it given in terms of centimeter, right? Then moment is given 10, this is 10 to the power of 6 divided by 1.33 into 0.66 into 250. Okay, if you solve this, you will get 45.57 centimeter cube. Then option B is correct. Okay, so these are the questions from design of steel structure.
There are 16 questions given from building materials. As usual, the questions are easy. No need to worry about that. Okay, here I will discuss the building material questions, right? Okay, see the first question. First question, which one of the following is the process of driving, pouring or forcing lead oakum, plastic or other material into a joint to make it leak proof? My dear, it is a direct option A definition for this caulking. This is the process of, my dear, caulking. Coming to the next question, question number 10th. Which one of the following is the ability of a material to absorb moisture from air and thus to dissolve and become liquid? It is also direct definition, deliquescence, right? Then coming to the next question, there are two statements given, my dear. Statement 1, wood is essentially an organic substance made up of a skeleton of cellulose impregnated with lignin. Yes, this statement is true. Statement 2, the organic substances are not susceptible to attack by both bacteria and fungi. My dear, not. This is wrong. So statement 1 is true, statement 2 is false. 1 is true, but 2 is false. Option C is correct. Next question. Consider the following statements. There are 3 statements given here. The viscosity modifying agents allow the concrete to remain cohesive even with a high degree of fluidity. Second statement, yes, this statement is true. Second statement, self-consolidating concrete can be used for beam column joints in earthquake resistant structures. Yes, it is also true. Statement 3, self-consolidating, nothing but self-compacting concrete, is not recommended for pre-stressed concrete. My dear, not. This is not true. Nowhere there is, this is false. Nowhere there is a recommendation that it is not recommended for pre-stressed concrete. So, third is wrong. 1 and 2 are correct. Option B is correct. Then come to the next question. The density of wood used for construction in the ranges between, my dear, it is around 1.5 gram per centimeter cube, right? Then see the next question. Which one of the following statements is not correct? Not correct. Rustic brick has mechanically textured finish varying in pattern. Yes, it is true. Arch bricks are overburnt, also known as the clinker bricks obtained from inner portion of the kiln. Yes, true. pale bricks are overburnt. It's not overburnt, it is actually underburnt. So it is not correct. Option C is correct. Then coming to the next question, consider the following statements related to the glass. The addition of lime makes the glass fluid and suitable for blowing. Yes, true. Excess of soda increases the safety. There is no role of soda in increasing the safety. So 2 is false. 2 false means 2 is there, wrong, 2 is there, wrong, 2 is there, wrong. Now 1 and 3 are correct. Option D is correct. Then move to next question. As per IS 303 and 10701, the thickness of 5 plywood boards for structural purpose are available in. It is in the range of 5 to 10 mm. Here option given 6 to 9 mm. Okay, nearest option we have to choose. Next question. As per IS 8112 1989, the minimum required compressive strength of 43 grade ordinary Portland cement for 72 hours. 72 hours means 3 days. My dear, this code is for 43 grade cement. At 28 days strength will be, 43 megapascal. They are asking for 3 days strength. 3 days strength will be nearly 50% of 28 days strength, 43 by 2. So nearly it is a 23 megapascal. Option A is correct. Then move to next question. Consider the following oxides. These are the oxides present in cement. Al2O3, CaO, SiO2. Which one of the following is the correct sequence in increasing order? Increasing order. My dear, CaO, it is 60 to 67%. SiO2, 17 to 25%. And Al2O3, it is 3 to 8%. So first is 1, next 3, next 2. 1, 3, 2. Option D is correct. Next question. Excess of silica makes the brick. It makes brittle. Option A is correct. Then move to next question. Match list 1 with list 2. Under list 1 given PQRS. Under list 2 given, my dear, 1, 2, 3, 4. Specific gravity. My dear, by using Lee Chatelier flask, we can find the specific gravity. Setting time. By using Vicat apparatus, we can find. Soundness, autoclave. Then fineness, Blainey's apparatus. S1. S1 is, there is only one option. Option C is correct. Then move to next question. Which of the following is are used to measure the workability of lime? My dear, here standard flow table and a truncated conical mold is used for finding or measuring the workability of lime. Option A is correct. Then move to next question. Which one of the following is not correct for characteristics of lime? Lime possesses good plasticity and easy to work with. Yes, true. It stiffens easily and is resistant to moisture. Yes, true. The excellent cementitious properties make it most suitable for masonry work. D. The shrinkage and drying is large because of its high water retentivity. It is not large, it is small actually. So it is not true. Option D is not correct. Then move to next question. Consider the following statements. There are 2 statements given. 1. Slaking takes place on adding water in lime. Yes, it is true. Hardening takes place on adding water in cement. Yes, it is true. 1 and 2 are true. Option C is correct. Next question. Which one of the following statements is not correct with respect to mix design? Given here option A, B, C, D. A. The mix must be workable so that it can be placed and finished easily. Yes, it is true. B, that is, it is true. But we want incorrect one. B. The cement is the most costly ingredient in the concrete mix. Yes, it is true. The strength and water tightness increases with the density of the mix. Yes, it is true. Then remaining option D only. Anyway, Increasing the water content beyond that required for plasticity causes the strength to increase constantly. No. Whenever you increase the water content, my dear, strength will decrease, workability will increase. So option D. For this question, 150th question, option D is correct. Next question. My dear, thanks for your support. I wish you all the best. Here I have maintained bit faster. We will give in detail solutions you can check out later on. Right, here you need a key only. So whatever you need, that we have provided here. Right, I wish you all the best. With this, session is ended. Thank you.